So ये वाला ठीक है. Metal polish is a mixture of four substances. The properties of these substances are shown. So there's propanol, there's ethanoic acid, there's iron 3 oxide, and there's silicon 4 oxide. ठीक है. Some of them are insoluble and some of them are soluble in water. Some of them they react with nitric acid, or uh, they probably react or dissolve with nitric acid. Then there's some that don't do anything, and there's some that react when warmed to form a soluble salt. Okay. As the first to only dissolve. Plan an experiment to find the percentage per mass of silicon 4 oxide in the mixture. Your plan should include how you will calculate the percentage of silicon 4 oxide in the mixture. You're provided with a sample of the metal polish, dilute nitric acid, and common laboratory apparatus. ठीक है. तो अब आप करोगे क्या? First thing. So remember, इसके अंदर ना everything, the details are very important. ठीक है. So it's very important that you go with the detail. So वो पहला काम है कि you're going to try and dissolve it in water, but you're going to give them exact instructions. तो अच्छा, remember ये metal polish के अंदर ना all these substances exist. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take, let's say, uh, take a 10-gram sample of metal polish, and अच्छा फिर water का, take a beaker and add 100 cm cube distilled water. Measure किससे करोगे? Using a measuring cylinder. फिर क्या करना है? Basically mix ही करना है. ठीक है. There's nothing to it. So add the metal polish into the beaker with water. उसके अंदर डाल दो and stir. ठीक है. And stir continuously for, let's say, 5 minutes until no more metal polish dissolves. ठीक है. शांत से सफा मरवा. Is this clear?
Yes, it's clear.
अच्छा, और बीच में ना the insoluble this would remain. ठीक है. So your beaker will have the first two compounds will dissolve, but the iron 3 oxide and the silicon 4 oxide, they're not going to dissolve. ठीक है. So what are you going to do? You're going to filter out the residue. Residue होगा क्या? That's iron 3 oxide, Fe2O3 plus SiO2, right? So इस piece को ना you've filtered it out. ठीक है. You have this piece. It's a mixture of iron 3 oxide. अच्छा, उसके अंदर remember, अच्छा 10-gram sample of metal polish. इसको ना weigh भी करना था. Weigh accurately on a weighing balance. क्योंकि mass important है, क्योंकि हमने percentage निकाली है ना. So the original mass of the metal polish is very important. Achha, anyways, now you're going to separate the SiO2. So how would you do that? You're going to add it to dilute nitric acid. So iron 3 oxide जो होगा वो dissolve कर जाएगा. It will react to form a soluble salt. So it's going to dissolve. The other one will not dissolve. So तो अब क्या करना है? Take 100 cm cube nitric acid Okay, exact rather than let's say 0.1 mole per dm. I'm going to tell the concentration as well. And you're going to dissolve the residue. Stir continuously until it stops dissolving. अच्छा ये हो गया और फिर अब the only thing that's going to be left is even this will dissolve, so it'll be left. We're going to filter that out, ठीक है? तो इसको finally filter out करना है. Filter out. अच्छा, so filter out the residue, which now only contains SiO2. अब उसको क्या करना? You're going to wait. ठीक है? So weigh accurately on a weighing balance. अब फिर find the percentage. तो percentage क्या निकाली थी? Percentage of find the percentage.
The silicon
Yeah, so
oxide.
उसका formula दे दो. Percentage of SiO2, right, in the sample. That's going to be the
Yeah.
mass of SiO2, right? Divided
Yeah.
by the mass of polish. आवाज सही आ रही है मेरी?
Yes. And then multiply by 100.
That's it, ठीक है.
Okay.
This now the thing is the reason I'm telling you this is that you miss a lot of things, right? So although it was pretty simple, but you have to write it out, ठीक है? तो इसका तो खैर एक ही तरीका होगा. We're gonna check the marking scheme. So we're gonna check the marking scheme. So कौन सा आखिरी था? ठीक है, there's only one way. Most questions, the last one, they've got multiple options. Did we dry it वैसे? Filter, wash and dry. ये miss हुआ है मेरे ख्याल से. Yeah, we just filtered it out. तो उसको रेसिड्यू को साफ भी करना है ना, wash and और वो wet होगा ना, so you would have to dry it before you can weigh it accurately, right? So any six है तो चलो वो क्या miss भी कर दिया ना. So we missed. I mean, we did write filter. उसे and लिखा हुआ, so that had to be done. अच्छा बाकी है कि we missed point number 4 as well. Although से warm क्यों करना था? हाँ, reacts with warmed. It had to be warmed. So we missed that point as well. Okay, so as a nitric acid combined suitable container, we did all of that. वो भी हो गया. The rest is all there. We missed the warm part, जो कि उसने clearly लिखा हुआ था. You missed that. And we did filter it, but we did dry the residue. ठीक है? So probably gonna lose one mark. ठीक है? क्योंकि and था. ठीक है? So ये clear है?
Got it. Yes.
अच्छा, okay, so we're gonna start with the first question now. Item label apparatus A क्या है? What's A?
A beaker.
Here, that's a beaker. Acha, so this hot powder lead to oxide is reduced by methane. So methane is coming in, and there's lead 2 oxide, lead plus 2, and oxygen group 6 or minus 2. So that's lead PbO, right? Where would you heat the apparatus?
At the where the powdered lead to oxide is. Yeah, using the Bunsen burner, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, ठीक है. चलो उससे बस एरो कहा था कि
Yeah.
Explain why do you use powdered instead of large lumps?
Because
Larger
the
surface
powder
area.
has yeah, surface area.
So you got more surface area. Think pura likho na. It's more surface area. So what would that do?
There is more area for the gas to for it to react with. Yeah, so it will be faster.
So you're gonna write more frequent collisions. So because of that, you're gonna have more frequent collisions and faster reaction. Okay. ठीक है जब भी बता रहा है ना कि the reaction is faster, you're going to talk about frequency of collisions and the effectiveness of collisions. So explain what happened at the point labeled B. What happens at the point labeled B? Label B पे क्या होगा? What do you think is the equation? Like CH4
Wait,
plus.
at B it will cool the ice will cool it down.
So what will happen? What process will take place? I mean, the ice will cool it down.
It will wait, it will become into, I think, with ice and then cools it down so it turns into liquid. Yeah, liquid.
If the ice cools down the products, right? Whatever they're producing.
Yeah.
But what do you think is did he mention anything about the products? ठीक है, the products are lead, steam, and carbon dioxide. So the products are lead, steam. So which of them do you think is going to get, I mean, all of them are going to get cooled down, but what will happen to one of them? मुझे तो इस पूरे apparatus was just a question, ठीक है? Although it's not asked, but where would you find lead as a product? इस पूरी जगह पे कहाँ पे होगा lead?
At B.
Let me see. At B.
Hmm? Not at B. Remember lead
At
solid
B,
and lead.
it will be water at B, and then carbon dioxide is the waste gas, and
ये कहाँ पे होगा?
lead it will be the product formed, which is gonna be in the
इधर ही होगा.
it's gonna the powdered part is gonna be there.
हाँ क्योंकि it's a metal, right? Solids can't move. So it will just stay there, right? वो जो water and carbon dioxide, there would be gases. So they would come over here, but the water will condense, so it's going to stay over here and the gas will escape, ठीक है? So what will happen at B? B में water बनेगा ना, right?
Yeah.
So ice cools down the products. So water जो कि steam के form में होगा, it will condense, turning into liquid water, right? I said the waste
Yes.
gases contain methane. State why the waste gases should not be released into the laboratory. So it's got methane, waste gases, plus waste gases, but it's got carbon dioxide as well. Methane is like, okay, not all of it reacts, right? So some of it just passes through. So can you tell me what are the harmful effects of the products? Carbon dioxide plus it's got methane as well.
Methane is a toxic gas.
हाँ लेकिन दोनों gases एक ही काम करती हैं. What is that thing?
They can catch on fire.
Like carbon dioxide won't catch fire because it's already a product of combustion. ठीक है? They're both greenhouse gases.
Oh, greenhouse gas.
And they cause global warming. So next one. Now that's about rate of reaction, right? So can a student investigates the rate of reaction between these two things, iron 3 nitrate and sodium thiosulfate, and changes the temperature at different temperatures, basically. And remember, it's a question about rate of reaction, okay?
Yes.
And he does 5 experiments using the apparatus shown. Um, So इसके the most likely what's going to happen is there's a typical rate of reaction experiment where what happens is that some solid gets produced during the reaction. So let's say solid produce होता जा रहा है. So what will happen? You'll ऊपर से अगर कोई देख रहा है ना, so the printed page would eventually become invisible. Is that clear?
Yes.
So the rate होता क्या? It's any change you measure with respect to time. I mean, if you want to figure out how fast a process is, so कोई भी change, it could be a color change if that happens very quickly. It could be some change, a gas forming, bubbles forming. ठीक है, तो कम टाइम में अगर change ज़्यादा होगी, whatever mass change, so that means it's a fast reaction. In this case, the change is that the printed page becomes invisible. Is that clear?
Yes.
So अगर reaction fast होगा, the printed page becomes invisible very quickly. The solid forms very, very quickly. If the reaction is very slow, so it takes a long time for the printed page to become invisible. क्योंकि वो solid जो है ना, they're going to take a longer time to form. As anyways, he does the experiment, 50 cm of magic cylinder to pour iron 2 nitrate into the speaker, ये वाला 50 cm. Stands the beaker on the printed sheet, uses a 10 cm measuring cylinder to pour, तो फिर वो measuring cylinder से adds 5 cm. Uses a thermometer to stir the contents of the beaker, looks down from above the beaker, and when the text on the printed sheet becomes visible, he looks down from above the beaker, and when the text on the printed sheet becomes visible, stops the stop clock. Temperature measure करता है thermometer से. When the text becomes, rinse the beaker and thermometer with water. So experiment number 2, he does the same thing, except I think he changes the temperature. He heats the beaker. The वो temperature जो है ना, that's 5 degrees centigrade higher. और फिर से वो stopwatch use करता है and he times it. And he starts all over again. The third experiment, अब वो 10 degrees centigrade increase हो गया. Fourth experiment, he changes to 15, right? So if the first experiment happened at 25 degrees centigrade, the second probably happened at 30, the third one happened at 35, and the fourth one happened at हर दफा ना वो he's heating it with a Bunsen burner, right? Is that clear?
Yes.
So higher temperature में क्या होगा? The reaction will be faster, right? So it's going to stop the stopwatch quickly. The time is going to be lesser and lesser. अच्छा इधर मुझे टाइम बताओ, क्या है टाइम for the first experiment?
We read it from the thing, like the minutes. We then convert the minutes into seconds, and then we add the seconds and we write it because it says per second there. So
Yeah.
the first one is gonna be it's wait.
We had this question in our mocks.
ठीक है शांति, इसका क्या होगा? What's the time?
Mr. Fahd, for this one, the time for this one is gonna be 116.
I think it's going to be 116 because it's 1 minute over here, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't reach 2 minutes. It's 1 minute, and the seconds are 56, right?
Yeah.
So it's one minute and 56. So that's 60 seconds plus 56. That's 116, right?
Yeah.
Or temperature? Yeah. What's the temperature?
The temperature is gonna be 21, I think it's 21.
ठीक है. So दोनों तीनों ये always remember to
Wait,
read.
Mr. Fahad, could you like zoom in one sec? Because I don't think it's 21. It's not touching the 21 line.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle.
So 20 point what?
5.
Okay, 20.5.
When we write temperature, are we supposed to like put 0.0 if it's a whole number?
If it's a
If it's a
अच्छा,
whole number,
अच्छा, for that I'm going to give you a tip, which is that
I know when they've given us one with decimal, then all of them need to be with decimal,
the
right?
other thing is remember कि add one extra decimal always.
Okay.
I mean, what the rule is that if I mean these are all whole numbers, right? So if you
Yes.
write 20, you're going to add a decimal. ठीक है? Vice versa, if something has uh, a value of, let's say, I mean, you could read 20.1 if you were able to, if it was accurate up till one decimal place, then even then you're going to add an extra zero. Is that clear?
yeah.
उसकी reason ये कि as a reason for that is that remember these were all whole numbers, but you were able to write 20.5, right? So that means this reading you can actually read it up till the first decimal place, even though these are not first decimal place values. Is that clear?
Yes.
So, for example, if I have a burette, so if I so burette की जो accuracy है ना, and also remember you use the lower meniscus, right? So, what value is this, by the way? I mean, you're going to read the lower one approximately. I mean, this reading you can take it up till one decimal place, right? So, can you guess what this is? Any
So
guesses?
volumetric pipette.
Any, what is the value? ये क्या value है ये वाली? I mean, read the lower meniscus. Shanzeh, what's the value? जल्दी से बता दो, नजर आ रहा है?
Yeah. Is it 22? No, 22.1.
It's 22 points.
1.
नहीं, lower. I think this is 22, right?
22.8?
नहीं, अच्छा हाँ, ये एक और
What?
गलती ना. Remember, you always read from the lower to the higher side.
Oh, so
Oh, it's
22.1.
2.2.
ठीक है, so 22.2. ठीक है, you're not going to go from. ठीक है, make sure don't make that mistake. Don't think of this as.
Okay.
Don't read this as 23.8. You start from the lower side and you move to the higher side. ठीक है, so
Okay.
22.2, right? So that means,
Yeah.
I mean, this one, what that means is that you can actually read the value. Okay. So 22.2, right? I'm talking about the period. So the period had a reading that was up till one decimal place, but you're gonna add an extra zero. Is this clear?
Yes.
तो बस simple rule ये, Okay, whatever accuracy is on the device, you add an extra decimal place, and you add 0 over there. Okay. Achha, so tell me the other values. What's the value for this?
AT.
Is that 1 and
It shows 1 minute and 20 seconds, so then it's gonna be 80 seconds.
1 minute? 1 minute and 20, right? So that's
Yeah. 80.
80. So what's the temperature? It's about the exact
Temperature 27.0.
0.0. ठीक है. वो पिछला क्या था वैसे 116 and this was 20.5, right?
That's
That's the next one. ये कितना?
this one is 60 seconds plus 9, so 69.
Or that's 30, right? But not
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
This one is what?
This one is 21 seconds.
46.
Oh, sorry, I was reading 5. Sorry, yeah, the upper one is 46.
See, that's 46. And
And the other one is 21 seconds. The last one.
so the last one is 21 seconds. What's the thermometer values?
Okay,
This
for this one it is 37.0.
and
And
this
the
is
next one is
this is
46.5.
yeah. Actually, you don't need to write units in these values if the unit is given in the heading, right? If the unit is given in the heading, I mean, you can obviously write units. No
Yes.
one is going to cut marks for that. But in that case, it's not going to be that important. If the unit is already given in the heading, let's just go plot करना है. So temperature of the solution when the text becomes visible and the time taken. So for the first value, right, it's 116 and 20.5. So 20.5 is over here. अच्छा उसका scale आपने खुद
To
decide
make our
करना है.
lives, yeah, we need to do it.
Now, the y is the time, right? Time, right?
Yeah.
So that's 21 till 116. So you can plot up till 120, right? So
Yeah.
how many boxes do you have? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's like 20. I mean, you can have 20 per box, right? 20
Yeah.
seconds, 40, 60, that's 80, 100, and you've got 120. Is that clear?
Yes.
So 20.5 पे क्या था 116. So make sure you do a lot of practice of these graphs. Okay? People get a
Yeah.
lot of stuff wrong. So 20, I mean, take out about math or graph papers they can make sure you plot a lot of them. Okay? So
Mr. Fahad,
20.5.
I sent yesterday's graph on the group, the homework.
Yeah, let me just check 1 second.
That graph question was different. It's telling us how to like do the 3 thingies.
He told you to do what?
It told us to first make a line with the first 3 points and then the last 3 points, a different line, and extend them till they meet.
Till they meet. Right? So you're actually crossing it all the way to the other side. But see, otherwise it's fine. It was just too. I think. Yeah, they just wanted to check 3 values for out of it, right? I think
Yeah,
that looks perfect. Take it.
thank
And
you.
chalo. So this one, 116, where's 116? That's up over, that's 110. So 116 would probably be over here, right? What's the right side? But 20.5 and
Yeah, it should be that's gonna be 110. I think, wait, 110, then 112, 114, 116. Yeah,
deeper,
there.
right? I said next one, quickly. 80 and 27, right? So 27 would be this line or 80, right?
Yes.
So that's this. Yeah, the cross होगा या circle होगा. I mean, you can just put a cross, okay? No, I'm just adding the circle to highlight it. I said 30 and 69, so this would be, so 30 and this is 70, this is 60, somewhere over here, right? I said then 37 and 46. I said 37 वाला तो ये part हो गया. So 46, this is 40, this is 50, 46 would be. Or कौन सा रह गया? That's 46.5 and 21. 46.5 and 21. Is that clear?
Yes.
Acha, Busma, what did he tell you about the graph? Some draw a smooth curve of best friend. So remember, it's a curve. So I guess the curve वो freehand से है. इधर तो probably हम I guess उसको आगे further extend करना था. So I think that would be sufficient. Reduce experiment which the rate of the reaction is fastest. In Sanome, which one is the fastest? कम time लगेगा या ज़्यादा time लगेगा fast reaction में?
The last time.
So it's the last one, right? Experiment
Yeah.
number? Because
5.
it only took 21 seconds. So
Mhm.
that's the fifth experiment. Use a graph to predict the temperature of the solution when the text becomes visible after 55 seconds. Let's just go 55 seconds, but
Yeah.
to predict the temperature.
We were
So ये 50 है?
It says
55 is
55. 55 is between the 50 and 60.
so it's this one, right? This is 50 seconds. 55 is this, right?
Yeah.
So on the graph, you're going to draw lines with pencils.
Yeah.
अच्छा पूरे paper में ना the only place you're going to use a pencil is while you're
Yeah.
working with the graph. ठीक है? Every other thing has to be written with a pen. तो क्या आ गया?
Yeah.
That's 34.
Mm-hmm.
34. Explain why wrapping the beaker in cotton wool after it has been heated will prove the accuracy of the results. But although he's heating it, right? Why do you need to pad it with a cotton ball?
Because so it can reduce the amount of heat loss there is.
Okay, exactly. क्योंकि obviously आप experiment कर रहे हो the temperature, you don't want the temperature to change.
Yeah.
मतलब आप एक temperature पे उसको you're checking out the speed of the reaction, right? Explain why it would be an improvement to measure the volume of aqueous iron 3 nitrate in a burette rather than a measuring cylinder. Why it would be why is that an improvement?
Because the burette is more accurate than the measuring cylinder.
First, that's it. It's more accurate. Suggest why it would not be an improvement to add the aqueous thiosulfate using a pipette.
Because when it's
नहीं पहले एक second देखो कि
when the first drop happens, it will start reacting that time immediately.
नहीं thiosulfate वो किससे ऐड करता? हाँ, measuring cylinder से, right?
Yeah.
So issue है कि you have to add it quickly. So the reaction starts, right? Immediately.
Yes.
The pipette is too slow. But if you know what a